So this week, a few things came up that I wanted to share that I think will be helpful. Some observations that we've seen in the market, but also, hey, a share with you. Capstone Contributes number 7 is coming up this Saturday. If you're in the area and you'd like to come by, we'd love to have you. The financial raise is pretty close to where we need to be. Awesome. That's usually the heaviest lift of this this whole process. But getting people down here and the sense of community and feeling like what we're able to do together is now kind of like the why, is my why. So selfishly, come down. It's so much fun. My mom's going to be in town for this one, as is my son Parker. He's coming with his dudes from up north, and excited about that and seeing what they're going to be able to bring by way of energy and fill-in bags for displaced youth. Hey, so this week we had a transaction that closed on within the last couple of weeks, and there was something that happened that really reminded me of the difference between a great lender and an okay lender. And there are a lot of options when it comes to getting mortgages, when it comes to getting finance. I've been through, and I hate to make it sound like this, but I have a very high regard for lenders that get it done right, because I know how hard it is. And I also know that the expectations that they have to be able to manage are so heavy, because not only are they dealing with agents like me, right, who like to get all up in the business, right? And not me personally all the time, but my team, right? We get up in the business. We want to drive that thing forward. The buyers, as they're going and navigating through that process, buyers can be challenging, right? And setting those expectations and managing those expectations can be hard. So let me set the stage. It's essentially closing day on a property that we've listed, and it's with a lender that we've probably worked with 3 times so far this year. Not necessarily their loan officer, the person that's spearheading it, but the company itself. And I won't tell you who it is, but it is a company that I do think of in higher regard than most. And what ends up happening was, and you'll see why I'm not going to tell you who it is here in a second, we get to the finish line, and everything is just going swimming. It is smooth. Even with the there are things that come up in this situation that are harder than most. We've got to navigate some challenging things. Hey, the homeless situation right now is definitely something that is harder on properties in certain neighborhoods that you got to keep eyes and tabs on. So just a heads up there, that was a good learning experience again. But again, the buyer's agent did a great job of recalibrating and setting expectations for the buyer and making sure that they knew that it wasn't the end of the world and we'll get this done, right? So here's what happens. It's the close of escrow. It is the day of closing. Title records first thing in the morning because they have the notice from the lender that says everything is good to go. Well, somehow something got missed. And what got missed was an appraisal contingency that was a post to closing condition, right? They had to get something remedied prior to closing in order for this thing to close. Nobody knew about it until it had already been sent out to record, right? So what does that mean? Recordation in Arizona is when the house literally changes hands because it's recorded, the deed is recorded with somebody else in somebody else's name, and it's done. That's where it's at first thing in the morning. Title's got to call it back and go, oh shoot, that was a mistake. Now we're stuck, and we've got the hard decisions that have to be made are this lender has to agree to close this thing before the end of the day, even though these conditions still need to be met, or things could implode, right? Like they legit could implode, and this buyer could lose this house because something was missed. What does the lender do? The lender decides to allow the closing, the recordation, and the funds to be delivered, and then post-close to make sure that the conditions are met. And were they big conditions? No. But still, any other type of bank, let's say it was some of the big box banks, those banks are terrible. And where this reminds me that relationships matter in this business is this transaction. Because even our new sales coordinator, Lauren, she's great, by the way. You're going to meet Lauren sooner than later in one of these videos. But she's seeing what's happening from this, and I've never seen anything like this. But it was the lender getting it done for that buyer and the buyer's agent in making sure that that it happened. And it was great to see. It wasn't putting the business before the person like most banks do. And that's really what it comes down to, is most of these banks make people feel like a number. And as buyers go through that process, they don't get the warm and fuzzies from the lender of what it feels good. That's why we work with like Bison or companies that are like relationship driven. We want the experience to be something different. And when it's not, I mean, if you gave me, let's say I'm selling your house tomorrow and I've got 2 offers and those offers are exactly the same except for the lender that they chose, woo, you better believe I'm looking at who that lender is, and let me call that lender really fast and see if I can get him on the phone, right? Can I get this person on the phone really fast and ask him questions about what this offer needs to look like and what I'm going to be able to respond with in order to make sure this deal gets done, right? Holding them accountable personally. What does that look like, right? I know we're more challenging than most. I am not, yes, I understand that. That's my job, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, wow, when these lenders show up, it's something else. It is something else. And I want to give kudos. That was Fairway. They did an amazing job. Again, you want to work with an amazing lender? There are those that are out there. There's the Bisons of the world, the VIP mortgages, the Fairways. I could name about 6 that I think are just stellar because they're relationship driven and you can get people on the phone and you can get them doing those things. I had to give them that tout because I just think next level, it was amazing. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you're around, Capstone Contributes. Oh, by the way, I didn't get paid to make this video. They don't know that I'm saying it, and that's why I didn't want to even say anything, because at the end of the day, yeah, could have been a tougher one for them. See ya.